Good morning. The Indian markets continue to remain in the strong zone and have shown no signs of any downside. After being negative throughout the day, the Indian markets finally ended the day relatively flat on Monday. This was on account of buying in the cash market segment by the FIIs, which have bought equities worth 704 crore on Monday. DIs still remain as sellers in the cash market segment, where they sold goods around 1081 crore. Metal shares were the major sectoral gainer of Monday, which surged around 0.2%, while realty shares were the major sectorial loser of the day, which fell in excess of over 1.4%. Monday's rally was relatively led by the mid-cap and the small-cap stocks, wherein the not so participated in the so-called rally were counters such as Bajaj Hindustan, Suzlon, Sri Ashtavinayak. These stocks saw relatively volume-based buying on Monday's trade. The US markets yesterday ended on a relatively positive note as investors prefer to buy back the much beaten down social media and IT shares. Coming to some news for today's session. The IMF has pegged a recovery in the India growth story and has raised its forecast to 5.4% of GDP for 2014-15 and 6.4% for 2015-16. Oil India has raised $1 billion through regulated S bonds maturing 5 years and 10 years. Regulated S bonds are to be bought by investors outside the US. Total bids worth $9 billion were received for the bond sale. The Queensland court has granted conditional clearance to the GVK Group's $10 billion Alpha coal mining project in Australia. The GVK Group hold around 79% in this project, which has been stuck for quite some time now. The Asian markets are traded in a relatively positive zone in the early morning trade, with the Singapore Nifty being up by around 16 points. The Indian markets are expected to be positive for today's session. Major resistance and support levels for Sensex comes around the level of 22562 and 22355 levels, while major resistance and support levels for Nifty comes around the level of 6765 and 6693 levels. Thank you very much and happy investing.